Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we're talking about the spell Conjure Fey, and we're giving it a B+. This is a spell I really want to give an A, but we're going to talk about why we're giving it a B+ because of a rule in Sage Advice. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I've got another video out. All right, so Conjure Fey is a 6th level spell. It takes 1 minute to cast it. It's got a range of 90 feet, which you're not casting this in combat because it takes a minute. And it lasts an hour. There really isn't a reason to have any kind of range on this at all. But it has a range of 90 feet, so we'll just leave it at that. Verbal somatic component, duration of an hour. It requires concentration. Yes, you do want to concentrate on this. And it's just like all the other conjuration spells or conjure spells, not the summon spells, but the conjure spells, even though it does say it does start with you summon. But this is from the basic rules. So in the basic rule, there was no summon spell. It was only conjure spell. So you summon a Fey creature of challenge rating 6 or lower, or a Fey spirit that takes the form of a beast of challenge rating 6 or lower. So it's a Fey of 6 or lower, or a beast made up of a Fey spirit 6 or lower. It appears in an occupied space within range. The Fey creature disappears when it drops to 0 hit points, or when the spell ends. It's friendly to you and your companions. It rolls its own initiative, which it has its own turns. It obeys your commands that you issue to it that do not require any actions at all. As long as you don't violate its alignment, if you don't issue any commands to the Fey creature, it defends itself from hostile creatures, but otherwise it just stands there. If your concentration is broken, the Fey creature does not disappear. Instead, you lose control and it becomes hostile. This is another reason why we're giving this a B+, because you can lose your concentration, chain lightning, and then the creature that you just brought forth becomes hostile. And it might attack. If it becomes hostile to you and your companions, it's not that it's going to might attack. It's going to attack. An uncontrolled Fey creature can't be dismissed by you and disappears 1 hour after you summon it. The GM has the Fey creature statistics. Some creatures are listed below. Ignore that table completely. And you can upcast this. So when you upcast this using a spell slot of 7th level or higher, increase the CR by 1. So if you cast this as 7, it's a CR 7. If you cast this at a level 8, it's a CR 8. And if you cast it at level 9, it's a CR 9. Okay, so why are we giving this a B+ and not an A? Because you are not allowed as the player to choose the creature that you conjure because of this sentence right here. When you cast a spell like Conjure Woodland Beings, I emphasize the word like, Conjure Fey is like Conjure Woodland Beings. Does the spellcaster or the DM choose the creatures that are conjured? Really, this should be an S in parentheses. The number of spells in the game, let you summon creatures. So they've got a few examples. Some spells of this sort specify that the caster chooses creatures conjured, like Find Familiar. Other spells of this sort let the spellcaster choose from among a broad options. For example, Conjure Minor Elementals. It is by challenge rating. The design intent for options like these is that the spellcaster chooses one of them, and then the DM decides what creature appears that fit the chosen option. So, for example, if you pick the second option, which is here, the DM chooses 2 elementals that have a challenge rating of 1 or lower. A spellcaster can certainly express a preference for what creature shows up, but it's up to the DM to determine if they do. The DM will often choose creatures that are appropriate to the campaign, and that will be fun to introduce to the scene. So you need to work this out with your DM. Now, this rule here is law. And why do I say that? Because of Official rulings on how to interpret rules are made here in Sage Advice Compendium. The public statements of the D&D team or anyone else at Wizards of the Coast are not official rulings. They are advice. The tweets of Jeremy Crawford, the game's principal rule designer, are sometimes a preview of rulings that will appear here. But his words on Twitter are not official rulings. The only thing that are official rulings are this Sage Advice Compendium, okay? So with Conjure Fey, you are not allowed to choose, or you need to work that out with your DM. By the way, this spell is usable by Druids and Warlocks. Another reason why I'm only giving it a B+, because it's not very many classes. A Bard can get this, but a Bard won't be able to get this until 14th level. But a Bard that can get this at 14th level could upcast this, but there are better 7th level spells that a Bard could get, or 6th level spells. So, okay, so let's get to the meat of this. What creatures could we choose? Now, as a 6th level spell, you can choose a challenge rating 6 or lower. I don't know really why you would do anything very much lower than 6. So let's look at 5. What kind of Fey can you get in a challenge rating of 5? So we've got the Green Hag, Hag of the Fetid Gaze, Isold, and the Riffler. Now, the Riffler's in the Book of Many Things. I didn't get that book, so I have Von Richten's guide. This is actually a pretty good Fey. It's a medium Fey elf of any evil alignment, and this one's got plane shift once per day. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And this one has this magic resistance aura. That is awesome. So creates an aura in 10-foot radius while the aura is active. Isold and all creatures friendly to her in the aura have advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects. That's pretty good. The Green Hag Coven version has spells, which are pretty good spells. Eye Bite is a great spell. We have not gone over that yet. Scrying, Polymorph, we've gone over that one. That's a great spell. Lightning Bolt, Counterspell is great. Hold Person is great. A lot of good spells, but this is a Coven variant, so there has to be 3 of them. So you just get the regular Green Hag, which is not that great. Now, let's look at challenge rating 6. And what are we going to get for Fey in challenge rating 6? We got the Annis Hag, who doesn't really have spells, but has this Crushing Hug, which does a chunk of damage and grapples. Has Fog Cloud 3 times per day, which is okay. Does pretty good damage. This isn't a bad. It's got 90 hit points, 17 armor class. Pretty nasty. It's large. We've got and then these are all from, off-color books. So really it's just the Annis Hag. And then let's look at 7. So if you cast this spell as a 7th level spell, we've got the Bure Hag, and this one is actually pretty good. Hold Person at will. Cone of Cold, Ice Storm, and Wall of Ice all once a day. Fantastic spells. It's medium. It's got 91 hit points. It does pretty good damage with its Frost Shard, which has a range. And it has the Horrific Feast. The Hag feeds on a course of one enemy that has died. It's frightening. So really the big thing here is this Whole Person. And the Control Weather. That's pretty good too. But the Whole Person is the big thing with this one. Kored. So this one, again, also has some spells. Otto's Irresistible Dance once per day. That's pretty awesome. It does some pretty good damage. It's got 93 hit points. It's small, so not too bad. Let's look at, and I think that's worth a 7th level spell. Some of that stuff is worth, but there are some better, and so there's this one from Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and I don't think there are any challenge rating 9 Fey. Oh, there's a couple, okay. Again, they're from off-color books, too. There's nothing really from the Monster Manual. So let's look at beasts now. So let's look at challenge rating 5 beasts. that you could possibly summon. Again, you need to work this out with your DM. There's a Brontosaurus, which has 121 hit points. These do okay damage. There's no multi-attack. And there is a Triceratops. That's pretty good. 95 does okay damage. And there is the Titanothere. 136 hit points. Does pretty good damage and knocks things prone. That's not too bad. At challenge rating 6, we've got the Mammoth. So this is the base spell. So 126 health, trampling charge, knocks prone, does pretty good damage, can stomp for pretty good damage. So this is like 27 average points of damage. That's not bad. Or no, it's 27. So what about challenge rating 7 beasts? Giant Ape. It's got multi-attack. Pretty good, very good damage. Rocks, 7d6 plus 6. 157 hit points. It's like a King Kong. That's pretty good. What about a challenge rating 8 creature? You don't want to lose control of this, by the way. That would not be good. We've got the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which has 136 hit points and does a ton of damage and grapples. Tons of damage. So about 31, 32 points of average damage. And I don't think that there is a challenge rating 9 beast. Okay. So all in all, a pretty good spell. With some of the Fae, especially the Buer Hag, if you could bring that forward. So let's look at that one again. I think that one was a challenge rating 7. Was that a 7? Yeah, there it is. This is actually worth bringing forward. This one is pretty good too. Smiler the Defiler from Baldur's Gate has Charm Person and Tasha's Hideous Laughter at will, Otto's Irresistible Dance, Confusion and Suggestion 3 times per day. That's just great. But this is like an elf. These are like off-color ones. I don't think a DM would allow this one. This one I probably would allow. I think this is pretty good. Whole Person at Will would be great for a challenge rating 7 creature that hangs out for an hour. But again, because of this ruling that's in Sage Advice, that you do have to work this out with your DM, that's why I'm giving this a B+. All right, that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.